Hi, my name is Kazim Adegwega and this is Module 11 of the Kazim Can Teach NCTA Cloud Technologies course. And in this Module 11, we're going to be looking at selecting PaaS solutions. So these are the objectives that we're going to be covering. Evaluating PaaS solution. PaaS, by the way, stands for Platform as a Service. And we'll look at selecting PaaS solutions, right? So although SaaS solutions provide organization many options, right? But some organizations still prefer to write their own application for a number of reasons, right? So PaaS helps organizations to develop and publish their own application. So which is what we're going to be looking at here, right? Now, before selecting a PaaS solution, an organization should first of all know what the business needs, the business requirements in a SaaS solutions are. So once you figure that out, then you can compare between multiple SaaS providers and then choose the best SaaS solution for your business, right? So what is PaaS, right? Again, PaaS stands for Platform as a Service. PaaS is an application development platform delivered to developers, right, or even organizations that are into development of software as a service, right? So most of the time, these developers or organizations are planning to build applications which they intend to sell as software as a service, right? So as you can see it here, you know, we have IS. Like when we started the course, we made mention of the difference between SaaS, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. And for most of the modules that we've covered so far, we've really been focusing on small businesses, right? So we've been focusing on the software as a service aspect of the course. So now we need to look at and evaluate platform as a service. But again, before I delve any further, so I think I need to ensure again that we're on the same page. So in our previous module, we differentiated between these three cloud service, right? IaaS. So we said IaaS is infrastructure as a service. So if you're looking to host virtual machines in the cloud, right, you're looking for a provider to help you host your machine without worrying about investment on hardware, without worrying about cooling your systems, without worrying about powering your system, then IaaS is your best bet, right? So you can simply go with one of the providers and build your virtual machines with them, build your machines with them. So the key word here, you know, is host, right? It helps you host your virtual machine. And with PaaS is meant for developers, right? So if they're looking for a place to build the application and they don't want to worry about you know, having to build machines, you know, wasting extra effort, extra time on building machines, on making sure that the machine is secure, learning about how to, you know, implement firewalls so that their system is not being broken into, so on and so forth. So they just need a platform, a place where they can do their coding. Then the option becomes platform as a service. So you see the watchword here with platform as a service is build, right? So it provides you that place where you can build your applications using different kind of tools and different kind of programming languages, right? And finally, for the SaaS, software as a service, is just a place where you can consume many softwares, many line of business application that the developers up in the PaaS phase, you know, have developed for you to consume, right? So if they've developed a number of apps and you need to start using those apps on the go without building your own, then SaaS is for you. So the SaaS, the software as a service application, is being built by the developers using platform as a service. So the watchword here again is consume, right? So I believe we should be on the same page now. So PaaS again is appealing to developers or organizations and built application, because it allows them to focus on software development rather than incurring extra time and expenses required to build and maintain infrastructure required to support their development efforts. So they simply focus on what matters to them most, which is developing applications, right? And example of platform as a service provider, we include Google. So from Google there is App Engine, there is Azure from Microsoft, there is Amazon Web Services, and there's Oracle, right? So those are examples of provider offering platform as a service. Next, let's take a look at the benefit of PaaS for application development. There are many advantages for developers and application development organization, for using PaaS to write their applications. So you have advantages such as no hardware setup or maintenance that is required, right? So once they pay their tenant fee, they don't need to incur costs on setting up hardware, right? So it saves them a lot of time, so which is one of the very key benefits, right? So it saves them time and also money as well, so that they are able to innovate very fast, right? So using PaaS to deploy and run your application as a development enhances your agility, as a developer or as an organization who is into software development. So reduce capital expenditure and cost, right? So that simply means saving you a lot of money. So here you get to focus on development resources and spending less headcount on unneeded expertise, so you don't have to start worrying about paying some guys to help you fix to set up a box on how to install let's call it Linux, or you need to have a Windows server installed, so you already have all of those things being taken care of for you by by your provider, right? So maximize your uptime, so you focus on really what matters to you, and you have access to the latest technologies. So most of those providers comes with a number of programming languages that you can code within their platform, and there are also so many tools that you can leverage on within on their marketplaces, right? So there's the Azure marketplace, so which has so many tools, so you as a developer can as well develop tools and let users consume it up in the Azure marketplace if you're working with Azure, or Oracle marketplace as well. So in a nutshell, to get an application running in the cloud, you can spend long hours downloading, compiling, installing, configuring all sorts of components. Now, not only can this be time consuming and costly, but it can also take away from the time that you could have spent on innovating and improving your applications, right? So this is where the true benefit of PaaS, platform as a service, comes into the picture, for you as a developer or for you as an organization who does development. Next, let's talk about WordPress, shall we? WordPress is a free and open source blogging and website content management system, right? Initially when they started off, it used to support only blogging, but it has now grown into a content management system as well, right? So now, if you want to use WordPress, you have to choose whether you want to go with wordpress.com or wordpress.org, right? So what is the difference between these two options, these two WordPress options? For the first one, the wordpress.com, they happen to take care of your hosting for you. They'll do the hosting for you. Once you register for an account with wordpress.com, they will help you host your website. But what you're going to notice is that your website is going to end with a .wordpress.com, right? For instance, I have a blogging website for Kazim Can Teach. So the full URL of that website is kazimcanteach wordpress.com. Now this was because I decided to host it with WordPress, but it's also possible for you to knock off the wordpress.com, right? But that is going to attract some payments, right? So you need to upgrade. In fact, let me just show that to you real quick. Right, so this is my blog here, kazimcanteach.wordpress.com, as you can see here. So I have quite a number of articles that I've pushed up to this blogging site. So here is my account up with WordPress. So what you will notice is they have some other options, some paid for options. So if I want to register a domain, I want to make it kazim.com, or I've registered kazim.com and I need to associate it with WordPress, so I can do so from here. So you can look at the plans they have. If I decide to go with a premium plan, it means I have access to customize my domain. There I can decide to knock off the .wordpress.com if I don't want it anymore. So your leisure time, just visit wordpress.com and then look at all the different options that they have. And what is also very interesting about WordPress is the plugins, the number of plugins that you happen to get with WordPress. It comes bundled with so many plugins that you can use on the fly. Well, some of them are free of charge, some of them you need to upgrade or you need to pay to leverage on those plugins. So that's for wordpress.com. And now with wordpress.org, you will need to host your website or your blog, and then you download WordPress software and install it on your server, right? So that's how it works with wordpress.org. That is, if I register a domain name, for instance, and I decide to go with a provider, right, an hosting provider, and they've been able to host me. So once I log into my control panel, I can download WordPress now on my own server and then start making use of it, right? So with wordpress.org, you have more flexibility, right? So you have more ability to customize your website the way you want. So it doesn't mean that you don't have customization ability with wordpress.com, but with wordpress.org, it gives you more customization options to work with. And we said you're responsible for hosting your site. You download the software on your server, on your hosting platform. Then you have to pay for hosting and managing your server, of course. So you need to pay your hosting company, your web hosting company, and you have control over where it is hosted and how it is managed as well. So that's the difference between these two. Also keep in mind, though I don't have it here in the slide, but another option that you can use, that you can leverage on when it comes to building websites or content management, is Drupal, right? So Drupal is also a free open source content management system that is used to create both websites and online application, right? So unlike WordPress now, Drupal is a modular architecture, right? So it gives developers a lot of flexibility. What I mean by it being modular is the fact that if you need to do certain things using Drupal, you simply can pay for a module that is going to give you that feature that you need. So at a later point in time, if you find yourself needing some extra features, then you can pay for an additional module to give you those extra add-on features. You get what I mean by being modular now, right? So a good example of some very notable Drupal user, let me give you one example here. You can look up the rest your free time. White House, for instance. So the White House website is being put together using Drupal technology, right? And a good example of WordPress, a known organization that uses WordPress, is CNN and also the New York Times, right? So that's the difference between those two technologies now, WordPress and Drupal, as a technology. So they are very good example, WordPress, Drupal, they are very good example of a platform as a service solution. So if you happen to be someone, or you are an organization, and you don't have that strength when it comes to building websites, or you don't want to pay some developers to help you custom build a website, then you can leverage on WordPress, right? So you simply don't want to pay someone to develop your WordPress for you, to develop your site for you. Then you can use WordPress to build a website for yourself. So next, let's look at some guidelines for evaluating PaaS solution. If you can reduce the number of database elements you need to manage, you end up reducing your cost, right? A good one will be, if I need to host a website, and do I want it to, by default most websites will come with MySQL as the backend, as the database. But if you want access to MS SQL Server, it just simply means that you need to pay more, right? And also up in Windows Azure, so if I want to provision an application, I need to set up an application, but that application will need to talk to multiple databases, so it means that I need to provision multiple databases. A good one, so if I'm building it on Amazon platform, and you need that application to have its backend be MS SQL Server, so Amazon of course is going to charge you for provisioning an instance that is running MS SQL Server as its backend. You get the picture. So if you want to bring down your cost, then you need to look at bringing down the number of databases that you have, right? Consider creating and deploying on cloud platform, because they simplify and automate some of the tasks for you. They reduce the time that you spend. You simply focus on what matters to you. You focus on your development effort the most, as opposed to having to worry about some other things that is really not, that shouldn't be your concern, right? If you offload the IT support of hardware by using cloud platform, you can save yourself time and then focus on application development, right? So that is, you don't have to worry about supporting the box that you're installing your software on. You don't have to worry about things like availability. I'll give an example. So if I need to build, let's call it a SharePoint application, so obviously I need to set up SharePoint, right, on the server. So first of all, I'll need to provision my server, right? After provisioning my server, I need to download all sort of requirements that I need to get SharePoint installed, install SharePoint, and that's not where the bus stops now. So I also need to ensure that my server is highly available, so in case that system goes down, at least my users can still continue to have access to the services. So I need to have multiple SharePoint servers provisioned, right, for high availability, for load balancing. You get the picture. So by simply going with platform as a service, you free yourself the stress associated with all of those hardware support issues. You get the picture. Next, let's take a look at common PaaS solution for medium and enterprise businesses, shall we? Now, once you have evaluated PaaS solution, you can apply the knowledge that you've gained to help businesses and customers implement the right platform as a service solution for them, right? And there are 4 most commonly used PaaS solutions out there. There are others as well, but 4 of them are very common, and they include Microsoft Azure, you have Amazon AWS Elastic Beanstalk, there's OutSystem, and there's Oracle. So those are the 4 common platform as a service solutions that you can leverage on. Also keep in mind that there are some other solutions out there, like I've mentioned earlier, that might even fit your need better than the well-known solution. You have other solutions like Google App Engine, right, and then some other ones out there. So just make sure that you look them up for the top 10. Maybe you try to do a Google search for the top 10 PaaS solution providers, but you want to make sure that you're going with a very known PaaS providers, right? And when it comes to choosing between those very well-known PaaS providers, then you need to make a pick between those four, right? Now let's begin with Amazon AWS Elastic Beanstalk, right? What you will notice with Amazon is that once you log into Amazon AWS, there are dozens of services that you can choose from. So each of this has different functionality. That each of the service that Amazon offers has different functionalities. Now the problem is that it might be quite challenging, sometimes to know which of the services you want to use and how to provision that particular service, right? So up in Amazon AWS, one of those services that you can leverage on is the Beanstalk, right? The AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So now let's take a closer look at this, shall we? The Amazon Elastic Beanstalk help you to deploy and manage applications within the AWS cloud without worrying about infrastructure that run those applications, right? So the AWS Elastic Beanstalk is Amazon platform as a service solution for developers, right, to rapidly develop their application, without worrying about infrastructure. So the Amazon AWS platform as a service solution is Elastic Beanstalk. Next is Heroku. Heroku provides platform as a service that simplifies the process of getting your application to your potential users just within a few clicks of the mouse, right? So what you find is after doing some research with Heroku as a developer, so it simplifies it makes the process very seamless, right? So Heroku also supports several programming languages. So there are a number of programming languages that they support, and it uses the concepts known as dynos. So if you have the time, so look it up. In fact, we're going to be running through a comparison shortly between those three. So I'll give you their URL so that you can as well look them up in your leisure time, right? So it uses what is called dynos to run applications, right? So the way you visualize dynos is that they are more like containers that runs user specified commands, right? So that's Heroku, for you in brief. Next is Microsoft Azure PaaS service. So Azure is a cloud platform created by Microsoft. So Microsoft's way of offering platform as a service to consumers, to developers, to organizations that are into development is via Microsoft Azure, right? So Microsoft Azure is not just limited to PaaS. Microsoft Azure can as well do IaaS, right? So it is also Microsoft platform for doing IaaS as well. So not to worry. The last module of this course focuses on infrastructure as a service. So we'll take a closer look at it, then some other providers who offers infrastructure as a service, right? So Azure supports a lot of programming languages as well, just like you have Heroku supporting a number of programming languages too. So there are a number of programming languages that is also supported up in Windows Azure, both Microsoft specific and also some third-party programming languages and software and systems as well. So they are all supported up in the Azure platform. Let's take a look at a comparison between this now. This is what your Amazon AWS looks like. So if I want to view access to some of those AWS services, so I can click on menu, and what do you want to do? Do you want to do AWS cloud computing? So you can read more about cloud computing from here. So I can view the AWS products. So you can see the number of products they have here, dozens of products. So they have products under compute. So if you're trying to set up a virtual machine, then your best bet becomes doing Amazon EC2. So I think we're going to look at how to do this in our next module. You want storage, so you can see there's the S3 storage from Amazon. You want database, so you have this number of database options to pick from, and the list just goes on and on, right? And Heroku is another one. So this is the URL, heroku.com, and if I come to under product, so you can see the different products that they offers. There's the Heroku platform, there's the Progress, Redis, the list goes on and on. So your free time, try to do a check on what these Heroku services can offer you as a developer, or can offer your organization, your development organization. And you have Microsoft here. The URL for Microsoft Azure is azure.microsoft.com. So it brings you here. So if you need to learn more about Azure, why you should use Azure in comparison to other platform as a service providers, so you can simply click on why Azure here. And Azure even gives you a free trial, right? A 30 days free trial. So once you try to provision this free trial, you need to have your credit card or your debit card, your master card, debit card handy here. Although for the first 30 days you are not going to be billed for those. In fact, I think what Microsoft will do is to credit you. Is it $100 or $200 now? I'm not very sure. It's between $100 and $200 that you can use over a period of 30 days, right? So you just need to make sure that once you test the things out, maybe you try to provision some virtual machines, you try to set up some SQL database, some NoDB database, you get the picture. So after setting them up, make sure you kill them all, so if you don't need them anymore, make sure that you don't have them running. And the same also applies to the other providers as well. So once you leave those services running, what they will do at the end of the month is to get you billed for it, right? So once you run out your field trial, then they'll simply get you billed. And because you've supplied your credit card information or your debit card information, they simply would deduct the money from your account, right? So you want to make sure that after playing with some of the services running up in Azure, or whether you're using AWS as your trial or Heroku, once you're done with them, try to destroy those instances if you don't need them anymore, so that you don't get billed for it. Alright, so to wrap up here, I'm going to walk you through the setup of AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So let's do that real quick. For you to do this, you need to have a free Gmail account set up. So if you don't have one already, try to set up one free Gmail account. So I've done so already. So I'm going to click on create free account. So once you create your Gmail account, come to aws.amazon.com and you hit create free account. Right, so we've loaded the page now. As you can see, I already have an account. I have an existing account with Amazon. So I'm going to, for the purpose of this demo, so I would say that I'm a new user, and I'll click in sign in using our secure server. Right, so I'm going to supply in my credentials now. My name is Kazim, and the email address I'm using for this demo is kazimncta@gmail.com. kazimncta@gmail.com. So I need to type in the password here. Create account. So next I'm going to supply in my contact information. Full name is Kazim NCTA, company name Kazim NCTA, country is Nigeria. So I'm going to use wearing part. Abuja postal code is 900108. Wearing part. I can put in my phone number. 234 80 59821442. N5A5ND. Okay, so I guess I didn't get that. I'm going to have to refresh the image again. Okay, 2F2. DPA7 space DPA7 space AM. Okay, so next I'll need to input my debit card information. And then click on continue. So next I'll need to enter in the security check number and then hit the call me now button. Now after clicking on the call me now button, Amazon will try to call your phone number. That's the phone number that you supplied here, and then try to tell you to type in a PIN. So there will be a PIN that will be displayed on the screen. So you type in the PIN on your phone number, and then to complete the process. So what I'm going to do right now is to pause the recording, and then when I'm through, we can continue. Alright guys, so I'm back now. There is an error here. I guess I exceeded the number of tries. The number of tries I guess is 3 times, and I exceeded it by typing in the numbers wrongly, unfortunately. But the process is pretty much straightforward. So as you can see here, I have 2 steps left to go. So I've confirmed payment information. So I've imputed my debit card information, and right now I'm trying to he's trying to verify my identity. that's using multi-factor authentication now. So once that is done, I'm supposed to take care of those steps and then the confirmation page for us to be able to set up the Elastic Beanstalk. Once we set up the account, then you see list of services, and you should be able to pick the Elastic Beanstalk from those list of services. So unfortunately, I can no longer proceed with this demo, as I'll need to wait, I think 12 hours before retrying this process again. But you can try it on your own, and also in my own spare time. So after waiting some 12 hours, so I'll see if I can put together the demo again in a separate video. So here in this particular module, this module 11 of the icons of the Kazim can teach NCTA Cloud Technologies course, we've seen how to evaluate and select a PaaS solution. So we looked at the different PaaS solution providers, to include Oracle, we looked at Amazon, and we looked at with Microsoft Azure as well. So this knowledge and skill, you're going to find it very helpful to help your organization determine if PaaS is a good option for them and which of the provider may be best for them to go with. So I hope this has been informative, and thank you for viewing. So I'll see you in the last module. Thank you.